Oh man, it's Tuesday, 24th or 25th. February 2014. Quite a long winter. They're all the same length, but this one seems longer. I can only spend so much time on Facebook, and I really appreciate all the goodness that ends up being on the wall of hope. Mama Hen, Sandy. I did actually, in my searching through what's going on, did actually see that she liked my statue of Jesus in Brazil in Rio de Janeiro. Somebody actually caught a picture of it getting struck by lightning, and to me that is power. And statue didn't care. Jesus never played with lightning, but he could have. For a little while, I'm going to be working 7 days a week. Not 8 hours, but all short shifts when people want stuff that are willing to pay what the companies are charging. I mean, Papa John's is probably in the lead, but everybody's charging for delivery nowadays. If we can't charge you more for the food, we're going to charge you delivery then. We're going to raise prices somehow. You ain't going to pay nobody more, and I'm sure your bosses ain't paying you more, but our bosses want to get paid more, and I'm sure your bosses want to get paid more, and so, we'll just figure out a way to raise prices and not pay you more. They've been doing that for a long time. I'm actually quite amazed that I can actually be here with the way they were running things. But, the way they run things, there's a disaster here and there, and one of those disasters got me here. Well, there's a whole lot more that goes to it, but without the disaster, no matter what we did, we'd still be under their foot. Actually, normally I might be just leaving work right now, because I finally got hours back in my home territory. I'm going to deliver pizza. Jeez, I'd rather do it back in my home territory. And Papa John's, just like any corporation, successful that is, but you couldn't really be a corporation without being successful. We want everybody to know in our organization how wonderful we are and how we got here. And it's like network marketing. You could do this too. Not quite. Most of the people that work for you are not going to make it up into the higher cloud places where you get paid really good and you get raises every year. People who do the real work, you don't give them raises every year, and you just figure replace them. And If they stick around long enough, you'll make sure they know about how wonderful you are. That's okay. That's how it's done. I know that. But you can't expect everybody is going to make it to the cloud people. It don't happen. Those who do get raises every year, until, of course, they lose their jobs. That does happen when the corporations fail doing what seems to be wonderful. The last ones to fail, of course, are the ones that are providing necessities. Water company never going out of business. Those who rent you a place to live ain't going out of business. Those who sell you food, they ain't going out of business. Sell you electricity, they ain't going out of business. Oil, heat, they ain't going out of business. Anything you really got to have, they're not going out of business. Anything that you might like to have, if there's any money left after paying all those others, and they're not, at least in the lower working class where I'm at, if I didn't get tipped, they're paying me as little as they possibly can to keep the rest. And raising prices as much as they possibly can, constantly. Yeah, it is. If everybody's getting a raise, that's different. Then it's called normal inflation. When it's only the few getting a raise all the time, then it's called depleting the working class. In other words, you got a bat or a tick or something in you, and they're taking and not giving anything back. You're lucky to have a job. Tick will say you're lucky to be alive, and I'm glad to be here. Tick ain't what made you tick, but it certainly happened to be on you. Can't say that business is bad, because it's really not. But when everybody gets the idea that the working class sucks, and we're just going to pay them as little as possible and take as much as we can, if everybody does that, something goes wrong. You'll see. It's happened many times, totally. And people find new places, it used to be, America still is, where they can try and do better. I certainly wasn't doing good where I was at. Everything's solidified and ain't getting in, and you can't get access to the good jobs. You can't hardly in America anymore. You know, whatever. I did well, and I think I'm pretty smart. But I don't look right. Didn't come right back around. I didn't have money to pay to prove that I know what I know. It's okay, you know. I'm trying to pull together the best of the best. Build a new society, still stay within the one we're in, but we just live by different rules. Been done many times. I don't always agree with the rules of those others, but mine is pretty much treat others as you would have them treat you, and they don't always agree with that. We are better than they are. Yeah, okay. I understand that if people screw up, there's punishment for that. But good is good, evil is evil, and that's not too hard for anybody. Some it is. But a lot of us, we know what good is, and we know what evil is, and we know what imbalance is, and we know what greed is, and, you know. If Mama is the only one watching, I know she knows what I'm talking about, right? At least that's cool. I gotta do this whether Mama Hen's there or not, but I'm glad she is. She'll be going home the next 25 years. I most likely will be. I'll be damn old by then. Just how I feel at the moment, 2014. I live as long as day lets me, and then I got to go home. Now, at the end of the night, as usual, I mean, after this, I am totally done. Feeling poor again. That's a strange thing, but I always feel poor. No, the car that's her Prius, her 2003 Prius, first time it's ever happened in my life, it's actually frozen into the ground. The car, because it has sensors, is actually saying, power steering isn't functional, that's a problem. Yeah, it's frozen, and the sensors know it. If I tried to move the tires, it probably doesn't have the power to move them. It's got to thaw out. Batteries got a problem. Your battery is about ready to die. Yeah, okay, got that too. I can do something about the battery, and I can wait till it thaws out. Hopefully, then the power steering works. The year we got the Subaru, didn't snow. In fact, the year I quit to avoid being forced to deliver in ridiculous weather, it didn't snow at all. that was 8 months of terror and hell, having no money, listening to Diane complain about it. And it didn't even snow that year. I didn't have to do that. But this year, I do have the Subaru. It's the only thing that can go. I got a 30-foot driveway, and I have to dig out 30 feet if I can take it back that far. Subaru pretty much doesn't care if it snows. Probably wouldn't care if it was frozen in, but considering it's the only thing that goes, it didn't have a chance. In a 2-foot blizzard, you don't be driving a front-wheel drive car. You'd be one of those idiots stuck. And of course, if your job is demanding you show up, you try. If you're a delivery person in your own vehicle, nowadays they're saying the $2.60 delivery fee is to cover insurance for the drivers. I don't believe that. I just don't. It's a convenient way of pawning off. We want to make more profit somehow. We're not paying nobody no more, but we want more. Oh, we pay ourselves really well. Yes, they do. Until they can't, and they go away too. BP sold the market. Everybody all the way up to the top in that market lost their jobs, and I know for a fact I wasn't the only one that had a really hard time replacing it. I personally couldn't. I don't know about the rest of them. They did the same thing. Workers suck. They have to be programmed to do everything right, but then we don't pay them squat. We're wonderful. We watch. Yeah. We find our way to get more out of them and give ourselves more. How you gonna get more if nobody getting no money? Hey, They're talking about if we legalize marijuana, we could fix everything. Temporarily. Taxes will come in, everything will seem wonderful, but the problem is not that. The problem is the mindset of the system. Take as much as possible and pay as little as possible. There is a balance in there somewhere. Granted, there are a lot of idiots out there, and you need to weed those out, but they get really caught up in it. Oh boy. I'm definitely done when I'm done. I'm gonna go in. I didn't buy beer today, so caffeine-free Diet Pepsi and vodka. And it's pretty much midnight. I pretty much consider that whenever I don't have to close, that's supposed to be when I'm supposed to be going to bed. I used to work third shift. That was the beginning of the day, or 10 o'clock, or whatever it took, you know. That's what you had to do. You're a worker. Strange, not all of them, but you know, they still consider it on the clock. A lot of the higher ups spend their whole waking time in their minds on the clock. So, you workers, you should be lucky, man. If I gotta keep you working past 40 hours, I gotta pay you overtime. Shit, I work 50, 60 hours a week on purpose because, shit, that's just what I do. Or I'm being told that this is what I gotta do, and geez, you don't really have to. It's a mindset. I have problems with that mindset. But I can say that it also comes from an idle mind is Satan's playground. If we don't keep busy, they're going to be thinking about how to screw us. Yeah. It does happen. You keep them busy doing things that ain't useful, that'll screw you too. Yeah, there is such a thing as a good education. They charge a lot for it, but I don't know if that's the kind of good education you really need. But I can tell you, I do know, you're born blank. All you got is who you could be and your internal guidance, and the rest of it they teach you. Somehow, a lot of us become us with and without good guidance from them. Daddy loves you.